Sad start to the episode this week, Connor. Sad
Why
start.
is it sad, Aiden? It's the start of season 6, baby.
Oh, true.
What's
so that
so
is happy.
sad?
Woo! Happiness. Yeah.
Ew.
Wow. So
Why is it
excited.
sad, though?
No, look. Big sad today. Companion of Classic Who, William Hartnell companion. I'm pretty sure. I've never seen any of her episodes, but Jackie Lane, who played Dodo, I believe. I think it was Dodo. In I think season 3 of the classic series, she passed away today.
How sad.
So, that's the big sad. Yeah, Dodo Chaplet. I believe she only was in 19 episodes or something, which is quite short for back then.
Right.
But apparently, pretty lasting impact and stuff. So big sad to see her pass away.
That's sad. Well, how old was she? Was she quite old?
I think she was 79. So pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah.
That is sad.
It is.
Was it COVID or?
No, I think it was just well, not said. They've not said, but
Fair enough.
But you never know.
Yeah.
But
a lot of that these days.
today me and Connor, we like to jump past that shit and jump straight into the fun. Have a barrel of laughs. Ooh, nice haircut, by the way, Connor. You're looking fresh.
Thanks. First one in like 3 months.
Yeah, nice.
I was like, fuck it. I got like this suit and tie thing on Saturday, so I was like, fuck it. I'll get my hair cut. It's funny though, because like I'm shooting this TV show at the moment that I'm doing for my own channel, and I had to like write in the script how my hair changes, because I ran into this big problem, because I was like, I filmed scenes but my hair is long on the sides, and then I'm like, well, I have to get it cut for Saturday, so I filmed all of my scenes that I needed to with my hair. Like, I definitely wanted my hair to be like it was for the first couple of scenes, and then for it to change. It actually fits the narrative really, really well. It's like, it's not a vlog, but it's like, it's not a scripted like a TV show like you'd see like Doctor Who, but it's like, it's a kind of scripted documentary. Documentaries have scripts and stuff, like what I need to do and where I need to do it and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
100%.
Yeah, so I needed to write in my hair changing, but I think it actually fits the narrative pretty well. So I was like, but I was kind of sat there for a while going, how the fuck am I going to do this? Because like, I can't be hopping between scenes and my hair looks different, and I'm going to have to address it. And I think I addressed it in a way that won't alienate the audience and make them wonder why the fuck just randomly throughout the episode it changes.
There'd be a few goofs of the week there, wouldn't there?
Yeah, I'm really into continuity these days after riffing Doctor Who a new one here and there. So like, I set my camera up in my bedroom in an area where like the light wouldn't change, and it changed slightly. That's because the sun was setting and stuff. Obviously the sun changed and stuff, but I set my camera up, got a shot before I went to get my hair cut, and then like an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I got my second shot, and I put it in Final Cut today, and it's pretty great. So the camera didn't move at all, so it looks like I've just gotten it in a split second, which is pretty cool. So it actually came out pretty good. A bit of color correction, I'm sure I can make it look even better. But that's kind of been on my mind this week, which I feel really bad about, because I didn't chuck on the Instagram story for any reviews. I got sent one, but I didn't
Connor has abandoned this show for his show.
Heavens no! I just need to do better with time management. Like, unfortunately, I work Monday to Friday from like 6 till about 4 o'clock, so I'm stuck at work all day, so I have to do all this shit at night and stuff, which is a bitch when you need a film, because it's all fuzzy and stuff. But before we move on, are you wearing a David Dobrik jumper, Aiden?
I am.
You know he got cancelled, right?
Yeah, but he's like kind of uncancelled. I don't know. It's just a comfy jumper, to be honest.
He came back.
I don't dive into it too much. It's
Yeah,
a very
fair
comfy
enough.
jumper.
It does look comfy, to be fair. I just didn't know you watched him. That's all.
Yeah, I did, but like, I'm not like a David Dobrik like fanboy. Like, his videos are funny, yeah, but I just saw this jumper one time and I was like, that's a fucking good looking jumper. I love the colors. I like it.
Yeah, it's a bit of an American jersey almost, like those big jumpers they wear, whatever the fuck they're called.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, nah, that's cool.
So
that's cool. Fair enough. Fair enough. Wasn't
Thanks.
trying to call our friend
Just
Aiden
trying to get
out
me,
here.
because I believe you've pointed out this jumper before off
Have I?
off mic, but now
Yeah.
you're just doing it on mic so that I can get cancelled. I think that's what's happening.
Well, the only podcast I listen to weekly is the H3 podcast, which is like a huge inspiration for me for this show and my other show. Like Ethan's like my favorite YouTuber and like podcasts and stuff. And like he had like a big part in taking him down. Like he stood up for a lot of stuff he did, but regardlessly, it's fine. Like you didn't know that when you got it, but like you said, he's back. I feel like no one can get cancelled these days unless you do something absolutely heinous. But yeah. Well, the whole Jeff Widdick documentary with the whole thing that happened with him and David was quite a bit of an inspiration for what I'm doing with my doc. So,
well, there you go.
Fun fact for you, baby.
That's Connor vibing. Freshly, he's looking good. He's looking good, Connor is.
Thanks, bro.
You're not going to say anything about my haircut?
You got a haircut?
No.
I was going to say.
I just wanted you to feel bad for a second.
Nah, you didn't get a haircut, bro. I would have noticed that shit. I know it's fresh cuts. Like, actually, Dan got a haircut the other day, and he was like, do you notice it? And I was like, no. He took, like, nothing off. Like, if you knew you were looking for it, you could tell. But I was like, no, I did not tell at all. Like, Dan gets weird haircuts. He gets, like, a centimeter off his hair, and he's like, haircut. I'm like, no, bro,
weird
you can't tell.
For a weird guy.
Yeah, he doesn't watch this. We can say that. we can say that shit about him. He'll never know. He doesn't watch.
This is such an off-topic start to the show. My AFL team that I tipped
Freo?
For this. No. I do footy tipping for the entire season, so I tip on all the games. So Geelong v Brisbane's happening right now, and Geelong's getting fucked up, and I tipped them, and I played my Joker, which you can only play once a season, and that's double points. So I'm gonna fucking lose them points there. Big sad.
You might win, Aiden. You might get your freeway parlay.
That's right. We've got 7 minutes left of the game, and they're
how many
40
points
behind.
Oh, mate, anything can happen in 7 minutes.
Anything. Look, the beauty of AFL is it can, but 40 points, big stretch. Big stretch.
Imagine
what,
if
like
you
7
saying
goals?
that just like jinx the game and they won, and you're like, yeah, let's go.
I'll check again. I'll check my phone again in 7 minutes and see what the score is. And
money.
The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon, baby. Woohoo! America.
Yeehaw.
We're in America.
Yeehaw!
Woohoo! Yeehaw! Don't mind me just stalling because I forgot to load up the page.
It's Utah, baby. 50% podcast.
You got any Doctor Who things to talk about this week other than the episodes?
There's literally nothing, hey. Like,
yeah, it's a
not even a bean.
Fracking ghost town.
Not even a bean. Not a bean, nothing. Not a single.
No
it was
beans
Jodie's
allowed.
birthday, and I thought maybe they'd release like a, I don't know, like an on-set pic or something, or like a little behind-the-scenes picture. Nothing. Jodie.
There was
just
one
turned
of her that
something.
Mandip put on her Instagram, but that was it.
Oh, we're saved. That we can talk about that for about 10 minutes. We can digest that.
Yep, that was great. There's literally nothing in it that gave away anything. She wasn't even in costume.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's literally nothing, folks. It's as dry as a camel's fanny out there. We got nothing.
Oh God.
Did
you watch the prequel to these episodes?
Fuck, I literally... Oh my God. Okay, so I went to watch it and I forgot.
Bastard. You bastard. You're out bastard.
I've heard that Season 6 has prequels for every one of the episodes. Is that correct?
Not all of them, I don't think, but
okay.
this one and Curse of the Black Spot both have prequels. I know that. So
Okay.
I've watched those ones.
I've seen it in the past. Isn't it just set in Nixon's office and it's just the...
Yeah, pretty good though, I thought. It's pretty spooky.
Doesn't he turn around and there's a silence there?
Yeah, just like out of focus and in the shadows there's a silence and it's pretty
That's
nice.
it.
Pretty
That's
cool.
it. Yeah, the silence are so
Pretty
good.
cool.
I love them.
Pretty sick.
They're great.
I love them too. I love them. They're great. You know what else is great? The episode they're in, which is the Impossible Astronaut, which is the first episode. Also Day of the Moon. That's the second episode. But I just read the description for the first one. Impossible Astronaut is the first episode of the 6th series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who. The episode was written by showrunner Stephen Moffat and directed by Toby Haynes. Once again, what a man. It was first broadcast on the 23rd of April 2011 in the United Kingdom on BBC One, and in America it was broadcast on BBC America fucking butchered that. In the episode, the Doctor, Amy, Rory, and the archaeologist River Song, Alex Kingston, are summoned together by a version of the Doctor from 200 years in the future, trying to understand the enigmatic hints about space 1969 the older Doctor mentioned, and a man they meet in 2011 called Canton Everett Delaware III. They travel to the United States in 1969 and discover a scared girl, Sydney Wade, who is trapped inside a spacesuit. The team deals with the Silence, a religious order of aliens, which has members who can make people forget their encounter with them when they look away.
Interesting.
You won't be seeing me again. No, I won't be seeing you again. But you'll be seeing me.
That's one of my favorite Doctor Who quotes. I love that.
Snap.
I fucking love it.
That's a great line.
I had so much fun with these 2 episodes. I remember being very disappointed with the second part as a kid, and it's nowhere near as good as the first for me personally. But I enjoyed it a lot more now.
Well, here's what I got to say about it. For me, it's like a better version of Pandorica Opens in the Big Bang, because Pandorica Opens, like I was saying, there's actually not a lot of plot in there. It's just a lot of character moments. And those scenes in Pandorica Opens are really good, but there's almost just so much scenes in between those scenes with the Doctor just wiggling his Sonic around. This episode, so the first part, The Impossible Astronaut, also is just like a lot of character and actually not much plot. You don't really understand what the plot of the episodes really is until the second part. That's when everything kicks off and they start properly investigating, and you can tell immediately from the start of Day of the Moon that, oh shit, we've got a plot going. But part one, just a lot of big character moments, which are great.
Literally just starts.
Great
so good
stuff.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It reminded me a lot of, you're right, with the season 5 final, with the fact that in the first part, as much as a lot does happen and not really a lot does happen, as you're right, and then you really do get, it's a lot of mysteries, a lot of questions, which don't have a lot of great payoffs from memory. But to be honest with you, I haven't watched this season for years, because if you are a fan of the show, you would know this was until season 11. Probably not. Maybe, I don't know, because as much as I love Capaldi's era, I was never too fond. Sorry, Capaldi as a Doctor, I was never too fond of his era. But I was always like, hey, for me, season 6 just never really hit hard for me. Yeah. But that was kind of the same with season 5 for me, and boom.
Would it be funny if we got to the finale? And notoriously, me and Connor hated the finale. And imagine if we watch it and we just love it. That would be so funny. We'd look like such dickheads.
I definitely think we can get more enjoyment out of it. And I think with anything you watch, something I think that's really helped my experience with episodes I've disliked before in the past is the fact that we are watching it as a season. And, it's going to be building up to the final, which I remember hearing... I don't know when this was released, but I remember hearing what always blew me away as a kid and really confused me was when I heard that the final was going to be one part. I don't know why Moffat did that. I really don't know why he did that. It seemed like he was just giving himself an impossible job to wrap all that storyline up into... Yeah. And, the Silence aren't even... It shows because, the Silence never really got resolved, and then we saw the whole crack thing that never got resolved. And that's what happens. It all kind of gets... Not really. I mean, all the Silence... There's that scene in Time of the Doctor when the Silence are, working with the Doctor. And you're like, what is going on? Since when did they...
I'm interested to see what I think of that one. Because it'll be interesting to watch that episode. Same with, David's stuff. It was so interesting to watch all of David's stuff and then, come to the end of it and be like, oh, it kind of all, tells a story there.
Yeah.
Which in the past, you understood the story, but maybe you miss a few of the nods here and there and things like that. It'll be really interesting to watch Time and just sort of maybe be like, okay, there's a lot of bullshit here. Moffat had no idea what he was doing. Or if we actually watch it and we're like, even if it's not executed well, it does make sense. It'll be interesting.
Hopefully. He kind of, Moffat kind of reminds me of, J.J. Abrams, where, especially with a show like something like Lost, it had so many... It kind of reminds me of Moffat. It had so many cool, unique ideas and some great mysteries, and you're left at the end scratching your head going, well, where did that go? What did that mean? And it's I think that's kind of how I feel about this. But you said last week how you thought season 6 is a nightmare, and I totally get what you mean, especially in the second episode in that like abandoned orphanage. Man, that's some creepy shit, and it's really well done. And I think this season already has a darker tone. It has such a awesome atmosphere, and I mean, I guess we should just jump into it. So,
yeah, go on.
We start and we're going to see what the Doctor's been doing since he's been away from Amy and Rory. He's been up to some hanky-panky, because we know that Moffat's season's very horny, Aiden. The Doctor is
so horny.
Having relations with a woman. She even painted him with some cherubs.
That's great.
And he says, "Atoo!" It's such a comical sneeze. Atoo!
I love the immediate pace from the start, like with the music and then
dun,
like the dun 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 dun.
It's very abrupt, but I like it.
Yeah, and just like that, like close up with the feet as they storm in, just a great start. You're just like immediately hooked in. I love it. Yeah,
and then we get to see Amy and Rory back at home. They got a house together now, which shows up here and there. They get a letter in the mail. Instantly, I'll say, like, as much as I love this beginning, it is very choppy, and it is very like, oh, we're here, we're doing this, we're doing that.
I enjoy it though,
but I enjoy it. Yeah,
I think it was.
I agree. Yeah,
I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was quite like not choppy. I think it was quite like well paced. Like we're jumping around, but not in like the Rogue One way, where it's like you're jumping around too much. Like I felt like these were all scenes that were perfectly paced, that it kind of led to something. I don't know. That's just me.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah. Just for me, sometimes it was a bit jarring, but insanely enjoyable at the same time. They get the reference. It's funny, like they get coordinates. I don't know why the Doctor couldn't just say go to Lake Silencia in Utah. They're like, go here, TARDIS Blue, this and that. The Doctor's in The Great Escape, which is a famous movie where they're under the
Laurel and Hardy. That part, right? But yeah.
Well, they're just like they're under the tunnels they used to dig, and then the Doctor gets pulled away by like some people, and then they're watching. Is it Charlie Chaplin?
Laurel and Hardy.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's what you were saying. And then the Doctor. I remember watching Confidential, seeing how they green screened that, and it was really cool how they got Matt Smith to be in that scene, which is really awesome. And then like they're reading this book, it was like the TARDIS went away from the Tower of London when he got captured and stuff, which I thought was awesome. And then we get to see River, and then she gets it's a great transition. Like Amy throws the envelope, and then it lands on River's bed, and it's like her
really
letter. Good. River's packing again, which causes all the girls to go crazy, and she says she's going to some planet called America, which is of course not a planet. It's a fucking country on Earth.
Kind of funny though. Kind of funny. I feel like in in space, you're just gonna hear a place and you're gonna be like, sounds like a planet to me.
I like it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And they're in a little American school bus, which I thought was cool.
Nice touch. Nice touch.
For some reason, there's a man who does that and just drops them off in the middle of nowhere. It's like, here you go, guys. He's like, all right, cheers, thank you. And the dog's like, howdy. It's the ponds. Awesome. It's such beautiful scenery as well.
And it's like I Am the Doctor, but it's like a kind of like not acoustic, but it's like a funky electric bit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a vibe. Electric guitar.
River nearly shoots the Doctor in the head.
That's a risky shot.
By shooting his hat off. It's a cool shot, but also there's not a bit of a goof of the week. There isn't a hole in the hat. So
get better. Be better, BBC Doctor Who.
There isn't a hole in the hat. And also I think I noticed as well when she fires rounds in a couple of scenes later, I think she fires, unless she put a new bullet in there, I think she fires 6 rounds instead of 5. So those are my goofs. A bit too early, but here you go.
A premature goof of the week.
Hey, play that
Hey. Premature. Fuck. And they're on the beach. It's beautiful on the beach, isn't it? On the water. It's lovely.
Stunning. I remember when I went to America, I was like, I begged my family to go to Utah. Is Lake Silencia a real place? I don't think it is. Or is it?
I will find out for you.
I don't think it is. But I was like, I would love to go to location one day. It just looks so pretty, and you can so tell they went to America, which is the coolest part of it.
Dude, it looks great. Isn't in the Wedding of River song though? Isn't all the Silencio stuff like green screened?
I believe so. Yes, I do think that's right. Yeah. That's why there's no like wide shots. It's all just like kind of like close ups and stuff, which is pretty funny if you think about it. They're sat on the beach. Amy notices a silence, which is cool. It's kind of creepy that they're just hanging about, and she's like, "What's that over there?" And Roy's like, "What?" And she's like, "Don't know." And I love how there's a shot of the Doctor, and it's only if you know, but you can see him kind of like looking at her, and he looks away, and you're like, "Oh, he knows, baby."
Yeah.
Amy notices.
Quick follow up.
Yeah, go on.
Quick follow up. Lake Silencio is actually called Lake Powell. Powell.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
Yeah, real place with a different name.
I remember researching it so much as a kid, because I was like, I gotta go there. It'd be awesome to go there. Who knows? Maybe one day I will.
Maybe.
Amy.
Maybe it's probably in the middle of butt fucking nowhere. But...
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't even know if you'd be able to find it. Like, I don't think anyone would know where it was. May have to track down Moffat and see where he scouted that location.
Hunt him down.
Hunt Moffat down. They're drinking wine, and he's like, oh, I'm sure in blah blah. What did he say? So he's not. So he was 907 when they met last. I think he says he's 1100 and something. He's like
1112.
Okay, that means
12. I want to say.
Yeah. So Amy's like, that means it's been 200 years since you last saw us. Surely they scratch their heads a little bit about that and ask a question like 200 years.
Nah.
200 years.
No
and
need.
They're like, oh,
no need.
Okay. Well, I know the Doctor's like known for like going away for like a year and stuff, but like, come on, 200 years, and then they see the asteroid in the water, and it's such a beautiful redesign of a NASA spaceman suit.
Yeah,
it's so
pretty
good.
Spot on.
It's so good, and it's very haunting to see that. It's such
is. And you know, Moffat is just so good at how he's like stylized this. Like, he didn't have to do that. Didn't have to be a spacesuit. Like, it could have been anything. Could have been just a standard alien spacesuit, given the context of how it's sort of brought about later on. Like, because it is just like a prison for River, right? Spoilers, sorry. But like,
it is. Shit.
It's just the way he's like picked. He's like, all right, NASA spacesuit for the spaceman here, and it just fits so well in with obviously what they're doing, with it being Space 1969. You know.
Yeah, because he brings up on the beach, he's like, we're going to go to the moon and all that. And then it's like, we're going somewhere. And Rory's like, the moon landing was in 69. Is that where we're going? And then, like, obviously it all starts to connect. And, yeah, he goes over.
Oh, fuck. We missed a scene. At the diner, though. The first diner scene before they go to the beach.
Oh, Jim the Fish.
Jim the Fish.
Sorry,
and that's when the Doctor's like, space. 1969. And the score's like, dun 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 dun. That's great. And it's got rolling. That's funny.
I got that. I got when I was a little girl.
Did you? I didn't have to deal with that bullshit.
I hate that so much. Surely people know.
That's the little
this stupid recap. It's so dumb. When I was a little girl, my imaginary friend came to light. Oh, it's so stupid. If you don't know, look it up. It's dumb. Dumb.
You'll find out. But in that diner scene, Rolling in the Deep is playing, which is great.
Oh yeah, another pop. Another pop song. Moffat loves it. He's like, I'll just chuck this in here.
He does. Before I forget, something really funny when they do the next diner scene. You know, when the Doctor walks out and things like that. They're all talking and they're being like really secretive and talking about like space and all the alien shit really loud and like it's top secret. Meanwhile, the fucking bartender is literally just stood there like right next to them and just cleaning just cleaning shit. And they're talking like really loud about time travel and the things they're doing, and he's just like, no questions asked. Why did I do an Australian accent there?
I do love that bartender when like well, he's not even a bartender. Well, he just works there. I love how Rory's like, excuse me, who was sitting there? He's like, some guy. that's
some guy.
Some guy. It's like really helpful. Thank you, sir. So, I've actually been to that place because it's in Cardiff, isn't it?
Yeah, same. Yeah,
I've been there.
I think it's closed down now.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Eddie's Diner, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's it. And they use it again in Hellbent, which is just bizarre. I don't know why they reuse it, but they do. I don't know if there's any connection as to why they reuse it, but they're like, "Oh, this was cool. We'll do that again."
Really not.
Yeah, I've been to that one. I've also been to the cafe in Sherlock where they actually shoot. I went to where they actually shot Sherlock. Managed went to the restaurant and stuff, and then I went to the actual 221B Baker Street, which was really cool.
Yeah, I've
went to some
been
cool
there
places.
a couple of times.
I got
That's
my Sherlock teddy bear over there, which is where I got from.
I just bought a paperweight, which no one uses anymore. No one uses paperweights. I don't know why I bought one, but it's like it's a bust of the actual. I say the actual Sherlock. I mean not the BBC Sherlock. Just like a little metal or iron bust. That's quite nice.
My biggest regret is not buying the hat, because you could buy the hat replicas there. My biggest regret is not buying the hat. I was gonna buy it, but I didn't. I mean, you can buy replicas on Amazon and stuff, but it's not the same, Aiden. It's not the same. I didn't buy it from. I remember my Sherlock teddy bear. It cost me. I'll show you, but it cost me like £25, which is about $50 but it's really beautiful, and
that is cute.
I love that I got it. It's a lovely thing to stick on the side of your. The ladies love it. That's all I'll say.
I watched a couple of Sherlocks couple of months back, and yeah, just I love the vibe. It's so nice to just stick your feet into every now and then and watch a couple of episodes. Watched A Sign of Three, which is one that I didn't like too much at the time, but the more I watch it, the more I really love it. And it's got some hilarious moments in there as well. Oh yeah, it's so funny.
Oh yeah.
And then I watched your favorite episode, Connor, The Final Problem.
Oh dear. Well, you like that, don't
I love
you?
it.
You like it.
I do like it. It's just, I love character and emotion and shit like that. Like, whilst, it's great if they can do like really good plot and then pull in that emotion and stuff as well. But for me, like, they just did the characters such good like justice with the emotion, and just like, I love characters going through hell. That was like part of what I did with Choices, was I was like, how much can I fuck up my main character? And I love taking them to that breaking point. And so it's great. It's definitely far from perfect. But just seeing Sherlock actually feel emotion just felt like, a really good not full circle, but a good like comparison to where he was. It was justice for his character arc, I think.
I just think there's a notable drop in writing from season 2 to 3. But if you can get over that, I think season 1 and 2 are like, they had that perfect vibe for me. And then 3, as much as I do enjoy 3 a lot, but I'm like, not as much as 1 or 2. And 4, The Lion Detective is definitely in my top 3 episodes of Sherlock. I love that episode. I think that's fucking great. But the other 2 I can take or leave. I don't hate the Six Thatchers that much, but do you ever wonder if they're gonna ever do like another episode?
I'd hope that sometime in the next few years, I'd hope they'd do a season 5 that is just like, it's not. They don't try and bring Moriarty, and I think that's part of where the flaw of the show came. Like season 1 and 2, it feels like they had a massive plan of what they were doing with Moriarty, and then they were kind of like, oh, I wish we kind of didn't kill him. And so they were fucking around with that a bit. And then the other notable thing, I think, going into season 3 is that Sherlock gets treated a bit more as a like an action hero, like a bit more like James Bond, which in some parts is kind of cool, but in some parts it's just like, it's a bit like, no, that's not why I'm in Sherlock. That's not why I'm into it. But yes, it would be cool, I think, if they did a season 5. I also love, I know, I don't think you like this one that much, but I love the Abominable Snowman, that Christmas special they did. I love that so much.
Abominable Bride?
That's it, Abominable Bride, yeah.
Yeah, not a huge fan.
That's one of my favorites.
I can see why you like it.
Yeah, I love the production design, and I'll never forget watching it. And when when Sherlock, he's in that beautiful purple coat, I love it, and he's in his mind palace, and he's throwing all the newspapers around the room.
That's really good.
And then you hear Andrew Scott's voice from behind, and then all of a sudden Moriarty's in there, and I just remember hearing Andrew Scott's voice and being like, no, and being like blown away that he was in the episode. Like, it was like Jack coming back. Like, it was genuinely somehow that much emotion. I just felt it was really cool.
They actually do the real like rack and back full which is pretty cool.
Yeah, which was awesome. Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I think the whole episode does.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I did
Speaking
rewatch
of-
the show about a year and a half ago, so I
Okay,
try and rewatch
yeah.
it every now and then, maybe once every 2 years.
Yeah, I think I did it last year as well.
I might watch it with Kim or something. It's a good show to watch with like someone.
It's good. With those shows, it's always nice to experience it new with someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Andrew Scott, bloody hell. Anyone? God, we're so off topic. Fleabag, great show. Andrew Scott, he plays Moriarty in Sherlock, which is written by Stephen Moffat, who wrote this episode of Doctor Who. That's my tie-in. Andrew Scott, he's the main character in season 2 of Fleabag. You've not seen Fleabag, have you, Connor?
I have.
You have. So good in season 2. No?
Nah, Andrew Scott's great. I'm like the only person who doesn't like that show.
I love it. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Season 1 I think was good, but season 2 I fucking loved. I thought it was brilliant.
I'm like, yeah. For me, like, I've always loved a show called Master of None, which I've heard is like very similar to it. That's why I watched it. And I was just like, not really my cup of tea. You would look. I know how much you fucking love filmmaking. They just really like Master of None took like 5 years off. I don't know if you know the show, but it did a season. It came out like last month, and it was like 5 episodes. And Aziz Ansari's character, he was like the main character in season 1 and 2. He's in it for like maybe 10-15 minutes. But it's like based off one of the characters from the show, and it's all just about relationships, and it's all shot on film in a 4:3 aspect ratio. It's all set in London. It's set in upstate New York, but it was shot in London in COVID. And he writes it with Lena Waithe, who's the main character in it, and he directs every episode. And it's fucking fantastic. And I know you'd love it. I know you didn't really.
I'll put it on the list because
but
I watched.
You don't. I don't think you have to. I don't think you have to watch. If you don't want to watch the first 2 seasons, I would honestly say you don't have to watch the show, the first 2 seasons. Like, the worst thing they did was call it season 3. It's 110% a spin-off. I reckon it was Netflix going like, we'll get more people watching it if you say it's season 3. It's really not, because Aziz's character is in it for like 15 minutes. And there's like, unless you're a huge fan of Master of None, there's 2 things I counted that connect to the previous season. So, previous 2 seasons. So, I reckon you could, even if you don't want to watch the first 2 seasons, I reckon if you just watch season 3, highest recommendation. It's so beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful. I love it.
Because I watched the first episode and I wasn't that hooked on it. I don't remember when I watched it and why I wasn't hooked. So, I might have just been in a shit mood or something when I watched it. But
honestly, the pilot is my least favorite episode of the 2 seasons. I fucking hate it. It's such a bad representation of the series. And that's coming from someone who loves the show. Like, I try and rewatch that show like every 2 years. And the pilot's just bad. Like, it just is. I hate to say it, but it is. But the rest of the season is so good. But if you don't want to... Honestly, if it's not really your cup of tea to watch that, I enjoyed the show because I was like a single guy, and it's about a single guy in New York and stuff. I enjoyed that aspect of it. But honestly, if you want to watch season 3 without watching those 2, I really don't think you'll have an issue with being like, who's this? I mean, it's based off a character from the show, but you don't have to watch the show to know who she is. It'd be like starting a movie and you don't know who a character is. It's just like that.
Yeah.
So I'd highly recommend it. You could knock it out in like 3 hours, so it's not that long. But yeah, I loved it. Yeah. Anyways, we love to ramble, don't we, Aiden? What's wrong with us? We only got through the first fucking 10-15 minutes of it. Yeah.
All right, let's speed through Impossible Astronaut. Let's go.
What I was going to say, though, is that I did notice, not to do another goof again, but I did notice that the Doctor doesn't really talk to, as we know, it's River for very long, but in the Wedding River song, they talk for ages. But I did notice that. It took me out of the episode a little bit, but...
Well, it'd be funny if we were watching Impossible Astronaut and they were like, what's he doing? He's talking to the astronaut. And it's just like shots just cutting backwards and forwards of them just like watching him, just waiting for something to happen for like a minute.
Chat, aren't they? I wonder what they're talking. Oh, fuck, he just got shot. So I remember watching this as a kid, and it sent me. I'm like, regeneration already? He just became the Doctor. Whoa. The beginning of a season. It was so good, and it really played on that idea of just shock value, and I loved it. And he gets shot again. There's this camera shot. Do you know that camera shot where they like run in with the camera, and it's like going like
it's way too shaky. Yeah,
literally, it's like they're riding on a horse. Like it was like, bro, settle down, but. apart from that, I love the direction of the episode, and that whole scene's really emotional. And obviously, Canton to come up before the Doctor waits to him. The fact that he comes back into it all those years later is awesome, and he already knows who they are. He's already lived through all the events, and they haven't met him yet. They burn his body. They actually shot that beautiful shot with all four of them lined up. They actually shot that at sunrise, which was really awesome. And it's they
because it was because the sun doesn't set over the lake; it would only rise over the lake. So that's why they shot it there. Yeah. But I just want to say that scene is one of my favorite scenes in this whole rewatch of the show. It looks beautiful. You wouldn't expect Doctor Who to look as good as it looks in that. The fact that it's all practical, no green screen, it's on location, and just that like golden hour that comes with sunrise looks beautiful. There's a little inconsistencies, obviously, because the sun rises that quick. There's a few inconsistencies here and there with like the lighting a little bit, but like overall, it looks fantastic. And that score, that's great. And the burning body, fantastic. Bit of a coincidence that Rory's like, there's a boat.
Yeah, there's a boat.
Also, maybe he should have comforted Amy a little more, I think, because he just kind of stood there and immediately was like, all right, let's look for a boat.
All right, he's dead. Let's move on. He's dead.
Yeah, he's like, now I can have your attention.
Amy, get over it. All right, get over it. Yeah, I get what you mean. But yeah, the score is beautiful. The scene is great. I love it. And that whole scene where they speak to Canton, they're like, who the fuck are you? I love how he's just smiling and he just turns to River and he's like, Dr. Song, Amy, Rory. It's so good. I love it. Like, he's like, you won't be seeing me again, but I'll be seeing you.
But you'll be
such
seeing
a good line. Such a good line. I think it's fan bloody tastic, if I can say so, Aiden. And they go back to the diner. The bitch is back.
Sad boys.
And they're like, what's going on? And they're like, we have to sort this out. And Amy's like, he's dead. What difference does it make? And then he's like, Rory, River is like, who the hell did he give the last envelope to? And it's on the side. And then Rory goes up to the guy. He's like, who sat there? And he's like, some guy. Very helpful. Thank you. And then I actually watched, who said this? I think I saw it the other day. But, it was Harry's Moving Media. The shot of the Doctor coming out the bathroom is actually it's kind of like a tribute to the shot of John Travolta coming out the bathroom in Pulp Fiction, which is really cool.
Oh yeah,
it's like a mirrored shot, which I thought was awesome. And it's the Doctor. He's not dead, Aiden. What's going on?
Fuck, mate. As a kid, all this shit, everything this episode so far was just sending me. You know, I gotta say, this is one of the most hyped I've been for an episode, this premiere. I literally remember, like, it was dropping at, like, 7:30 on ABC One, I think. And I was just, like, I remember it was, like, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was unloading the dishwasher. And I was watching the time to the point where, like, about every 2 or 3 minutes, I was looking at a little digital clock on the oven in that dishwasher. Well, in the kitchen, sorry. Whilst I was like, all right, 2 hours and 24 minutes to go. Cool. And I'd check again 2 minutes later and be like, all right, 2 hours and 22 minutes to go. Fucking getting close now. I was so excited for this.
Oh, the hype was unreal.
I had
as well.
the like promo photos that they did for each character. I had them, all 4 of them, framed up and all just lined across the top of my bed. Crazy. I just ripped them out of Doctor Who magazine. Sorry, Doctor Who Adventures.
That's so cute.
Mm.
Oh, the things we did when we were kids. Remember being excited for Doctor Who to drop? Jeez. That takes me back. But the Doctor knows something sucks. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? They're in the TARDIS. I love how they're having a very loud conversation just underneath the console. Like, the Doctor we saw on the beach was a future version, and the Doctor's just upstairs. And you're like, surely he can hear you?
Yeah, he so could hear that.
And I was like, geez, guys. But it's like, whatever. If you kind of switch your brain off there, it's like, whatever. It's like, does he want us to avenge him? It's not his style. Prevent it. It's not his style either. But it's such a great premise, knowing the Doctor's going to die the whole season. I love it. I think it's awesome. Like,
there is a line though where I don't know where it is, but at some point they're like, you know, it's not a robot. Like, the Doctor is dead. Yeah. And I'm just like, fuck off. Like, you can't just tell us. you'd be better off just not saying anything and the audience just thinking the Doctor's dead. Like, and because saying it's not a robot then makes you get to the finale and you're like, oh, it was a fucking robot. But then they'll be like, no, it's not a robot. It's a tesselector. Thanks, mate. Dickhead.
Yeah, the line you're thinking of is the one on the beach where Amy's like lying down hugging the Doctor when he's dead, and she's like, it must be a robot or a clone or something. And I distinctly remember the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, maybe it is. Like, maybe it is like a duplicate or something, or a clone or something like that. And I remember like all the Flesh episodes coming out, and I was like, me, who's like a young kid, was like, oh, surely like the Flesh doppelganger, you know? And then obviously those, whatever the fuck they're called, the twats from Tesselector. And even that in my brain, I was like, or I guess it could be that. But I was always like, oh, that's too obvious. Surely not. But you know what I mean? Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, they kind of, I don't know, maybe it was the BBC, like, oh, maybe, you know, give them a little hint, because they might be scratching their heads too much this season, really thinking the Doctor's going to die.
It's not a hint, though, because it's the opposite. It's telling you, because if they didn't say that, you'd be sat there the whole season, and you'd be like, oh, maybe it's a ganger, or maybe it's a robot, who knows, but you'd never be able to confirm it. But by them, distinctly saying it's not a robot, just automatically you're like, all right, it can't be the Tesselector then, you know, when that episode comes up. So it's a bit of bullshit that they said that. Anyways.
I'm being extremely clever up here. There's no one to sit around looking impressed. What's the point in having you all? That's good.
That's great.
I do like how he says, like, I can't trust you, River. Why should I trust you right now? I like that.
Yeah, and he's like, I'll trust you, you know, like how you associate to me, whatever he says, like, he like wants her identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Who'd you kill?
Wants to know.
You know, I thought that was really good. Yeah, but the whole my life in your life in your hands, Amelia Pond with the fish fingers and custard that she swears. Yeah, I thought that was really cute. And like Canton, let's go.
Delaware the Third.
Yeah, and they find out who he is. They find out Nixon's the president in '69, and they recruit Canton from a bar. I like how Nixon's like, you were my second choice for this, and Cannon says you were my second choice of president. That's great line. That's a great line. This is the actor from Supernatural, which was a big deal for Supernatural fans, but I never watched it, so.
Yeah, no, neither. I know Zave has been on about.
Oh, Zave were on top about it
for a while.
Every time he brings him up, we're like, wait,
Mark
who?
Shepherd.
And he's like, I've told you this like 10 times. We're like, oh yeah, shit. Yeah, so I know it was a big deal for American fans and for fans of Supernatural, and it was a great idea to cast a big American actor from another big sci-fi show for this whole like Doctor Who launch in America. Perfect. It was such a smart idea. I'm not sure who was behind the casting, but I don't know if that was Moffat or not, but still, I thought it was pretty clever. And then the whole tape recording thing was very creepy. I thought that was a whole setup. There's so many questions, and you're like, oh, it's like, wow, this is so cool. What a great setup. It's what a season premiere should be. I like how they land the TARDIS without any engines, and it's invisible, and the Doctor comes up the TARDIS, and he's like taking notes. And I love how like Nixon turns around, looks at the Doctor, and he's like continue. He like symbols like continue, and he's like, oh fuck. He gets a tap by all the security, and he's like, River, make her blue again. Do you remember when my Instagram bio was make her blue again for like 3 years?
Really?
Make her blue again. And then the reason I changed it was because you made a good point. You're like, when someone follows you, it goes from blue to green, and it looks like you're trying to get people to unfollow you. And you know, when you're a kid, you're like, I want followers. So I was like, no, I'm going to change it. I was like, I didn't know that the whole time. Make her blue again. Now I don't give a fuck if anyone follows me on Instagram. Except for @50doctor, obviously. I don't care about my personal account. Great scene. It's a bit unrealistic that they just let an intruder come in and start. I know that it's like, how'd you get that in here? You didn't drag it in. We'll give him 5 minutes. It's a really cool setup. I love that the Doctor's in the Oval Office and everyone's working and all the maps and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
and
a
you
bit
swap team ready to
unrealistic.
mobilize 12 Danby Dodgers and a Fez. Oh, and
little,
some street maps. Something.
The little tap on the desk as well. And a Fez.
Yeah. Great.
There's this weird cut where it's like, so like the Doctor was on the floor, and then suddenly it's like, they're Americans. They're like, don't shoot. And then somehow the Doctor hops from on the floor. He's on the desk, and he's like, Mr. President. And then it becomes like point. Great shot and great line. But I'm like, how did he get from the floor to the desk? But regardlessly,
not much
fun.
Impossible
Astronaut, baby. Fun. Love it. Amy sees the silence again. I guess they're just kind of like walking about like, well, hey guys.
Just everywhere. And then, it's not an invasion. Earth is occupied.
Again, just like the Silurians. Who knew?
Whoa.
Who knew? It's like, I'm going to go to the toilet. I feel
Amy,
a bit sick.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And she meets Joy. Her
name was Joy. I thought it would be so much cooler for them, because when they first, because she's like, you have to kill her, why did you do that, you don't even know her name, and then it says Joy, and I remember when I first heard that, I was like, wow, ruthless, they killed her for Joy, and it's like, no, her name was Joy, and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, bruh.
How fucking shit is it when they just go and they just explode?
Their mouth sort of becomes like that. They become the screen painting, like.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but it's just the way that they just fucking literally pop. So weird. What do you think of the silence? Because I think they're really great, and the whole way that scene plays out and makes you realize the whole forgetting thing, so great. Such a great proper introduction to them.
I think they are some of the best villains Doctor Who's ever had. Definitely one of the best original villains. I love them.
Yeah.
The concept is amazing.
Aesthetically,
so good.
Amazing.
Oh, they look beautiful. They look so good. I like how in Time of the Doctor they're wearing like turtlenecks almost. They changed their. They changed it. I think how they're all wearing suits is like, it's creepy. The design is awesome. The sounds that make almost like croaking breathing. And Murray's score, he always does like almost like that hi hat when like you forget that. You know, like his score is perfect, and just like everything about them, their little fingers, he's got like 3 fingers. They look really creepy.
There is one moment where the fingers at the end, one gets shot, and you just see the fingers like slow mo, just like flop to the ground, and they look like fish just flopping around.
Bit of a prosthetic.
Yeah.
But I like how Amy like figured out, it's like, oh, we can only remember you when we've seen you. How's that work? And she takes a photo on her phone, and which they later on use. And then she comes out the toilet again. It's like, I forgot. It's like, I have to tell the doctor. Tell the doctor what? It's like, I forgot. It's like, what's that? Your mobile? She's like, it's my mobile. I was like, what's that? Mobile phone. Cool little thing here and there. It's like, that's, and the doctor's like, and there it is. Obvious when you think about it, because like she names all the streets. She's like Jefferson something. That's why Nixon thinks it's a boy, which I thought was smart. They land in Florida, like an abandoned like warehouse or something where they've been like
very spooky set. Very spooky set.
I agree. I love the vibe of this episode. All those questions and mysteries. It takes me back to when I was a kid. It was like Christmas. It was like a new season. Everything was so exciting. The Doctor's dead. Like the silence. There's so many questions. So many questions. I love it. And then they find all the astronaut gear, which obviously is used in the future to kill the Doctor. Which I thought was again really creepy. They had that like it was almost like a surgery room where they had that surgery bed and stuff. It's like it's creepy AF. And then the River's like, don't worry, I'll scream. They're going down to the down into the sewer. It's like, don't worry, I'll scream if I'm in trouble. I'm quite the screamer. And it's like, oh hey, Moffat, you cheeky shit.
Moff loves it, and it's the old fucking TARDIS set, the TARDIS from the Lodger. That's
okay,
great.
you were right, by the way. They're like very something road. When the Doctor finally sees it in the second episode, he mentions Craig Street. I don't know if you heard that, but he's like, oh, it's very something road. So Still though, I still do believe the BBC were just being lazy and didn't want to build another set. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. But all the tunnels, and they see the silence, and River's like, "Oh, I feel sick," and you know that she's seen them. Obviously, there's this beautiful scene with River and Rory down in the trench. It's like the one time the episode takes a moment to slow down, and it really works for me. Where she's like, "There's going to be a time when I look into that man's eyes, and you won't have the faintest idea who I am," and we've already seen it in the library.
So tragic.
I loved it.
It's once again just Moffat just knowing exactly how to pull on the heartstrings. He's just so good at it. What a madman!
Yeah, and everyone's performances this week was great.
Mm-hmm.
And and then there's a great shot with the astronauts just looking in the background. It's so creepy, and I love it.
Yeah,
I said I love it.
I do think so maybe good. the cliffhanger comes in a bit quick. It's a bit out of nowhere. Like I was watching it, and then I was like, oh fuck, we're all going now all of a sudden, and then it's like the slow-mo shit of like, what are you doing? Saving your life.
No.
Crazy.
But if you watch the I like it. It's not perfect, but I don't mind it. I do like how if you wait till the end of the credits, you can see that literally the first time next on trailers, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shoot you," and it takes off the mask. You can see the like CG bullet hole like just above the little girl's head in the suit. But yeah, no, I liked it. I thought for an opener with like again, you're right with the whole like it does feel like a bit of a Pandora opens where not necessarily much happens, but the character moments are all I live for. Moffat seems to be doing that a lot with his finals and now with his openers. He seems to have very big character moments in something really big happens, very big character moments for the first part, and then the second part, a few answers, but then like more questions, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But very much enjoyable from my point of view, my POV.
I very much enjoyed too. Shall we move on to Australia's favourite segment?
Let's do it, baby.
It's time for Goof of the Week. So we're doing Goofs of the Week just to split things up of both the Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon. Connor, do you have any goofs for these episodes? Because I don't.
Well, I kind of gave them away, you know, with the whole the whole bullets thing. The Doctor talks a bit too long down at the beach. There's no shot in the Doctor's hat. There's no little hole. But apart from that, I didn't have any that I am aware of.
Crazy. I've got so many for next week. TARDIS Week has some
TARDIS Week. Okay.
TARDIS Wiki has just a few. There was a lot of like bullshit ones. Like there was one that was like the US TV only has one dial on it when all US TVs have two dials on it due to the different blah 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 blah. And I was like, just freaking stop.
Who knows that? God.
The most noticeable ones I picked up from it was that this one's quite funny. That when Rory's flicking through the book at the start and he's watching the TV of like the Doctor with Laurel and Hardy, and you can tell that like they haven't just green screened the shot onto the TV. They've actually they've just thrown it onto the clip because Rory's magazine is actually behind the TV footage.
Ah,
crazy.
Okay.
Crazy and very silly. So the iconic bus.
Uh-huh. You're welcome.
That scene. For some reason, it's a British guy driving that bus, but okay.
You're welcome. He actually gets a credit in the credits. Bus driver, which is
really
funny. Yeah, for that one line.
But the bus obviously drives off in the shot where Amy and Rory jump out of it.
Yeah.
But then in the next shots, it's gone, even though it's like a really long road. It just disappears. You don't see it drive off any further into the distance.
Balls.
Balls. There is a boom mic in the scene with Amy outside the toilet.
The booms.
Classic. Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my shot. This one's funny, and I can't believe I didn't notice it. And I can't believe they didn't notice it when they did it. but when the silence is going bzz, 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 and there's all the electricity in the toilet, there's mirrors in that toilet, Connor. And did you freaking know that mirrors should also reflect electricity? Because they don't in the Doctor Who universe, apparently. It's just the silence doing the electricity, and in the mirrors, it's just the silence. There's no electricity or anything like that.
Okay. Those mirrors just, they're built differently.
Their mirrors ain't loyal.
Of course.
To quote Drake.
Is that real?
No. No. I was scrolling through Twitter this morning, and Nick woke up, and she was like right next to me. And she looks at my phone, and she goes, "Is that Drake?" And I go, "Nick, it's fucking Peter Capaldi, mate."
Oh, Pete. We stand Pete.
And she was like, "Oh, fuck," and just rolled over and went back to sleep.
Oh, Peter. How I miss
Pete,
you.
we love him. All right, before we start part 2, which I think we should get through pretty quick, I'm going to go urinate. Is that okay? You forgive? Papa?
Yeah, I forgive.
All right, here's what you're going to do in the meantime, Connor.
All right.
What you're going to do is you're going to name for me what your other than the what's it called? The gas mask people, the empty child, the Doctor dancers.
Yep.
What is your favorite two-parter of Doctor Who? And why?
That's a good one.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Lovely elevator music, Aiden. Thank you for that. I don't know. That's a good one. I guess when I was a kid, sorry. Definitely Doomsday. Amigos. Like, how can you not? Do you know what I mean? How can you not? Oh, God, I'm stretching my legs. I just got myself a cramp. That's terrible time that happened. Oh, Pardon of Ways and Bad Wolf. That's a banger. Oh, but also there's a season 4 one. Damn, Russell had some great two parts, except for season 3. I didn't like the season 3 two-part. What's that? Last of Time, Lost Sour Drums. 5 was good, but not as memorable for me. Not so much 6. 7, I guess that kind of counts. That's fun, but that's like the 50th hype. Pete's first one, Dark Water, isn't great. Dark Water and Death in Heaven. That's not too good. Season 8. Fucking, what's the season 8 final? That's, of course, Heaven Sent and Hellbent. Ugh. I don't know, I'm going to say season 2.
Okay,
He's back.
Putting on my headphones.
I rambled.
Aiden's back.
I rambled through, like, the whole series. I got to, like, season 9. And I was like, this one's pretty good. I think I said on season 2. Or season 1, I think.
Wait, which two-parter? I asked which two-parter.
Oh, I just went through finals. Fuck, why did I think that?
What the fuck?
Oh,
I did not say anything about series finals. I said which two-parter is your favorite.
Night. It's a Thursday night.
Yes.
I'm tired.
Thursday night is not the night where people say, "Oh, I can't remember shit." It's a fucking Monday, or if you fucked up on a Friday or Saturday.
Shut up.
It's Thursday. I can't remember.
Shit.
I didn't understand what you said. God. The pain that this man causes me. Day of the Moon, immediately not as great, but still pretty damn fucking good.
Have you read the synopsis yet?
No, we don't read the synopsis for part 2s.
Don't we? Okay.
No, I never have. Don't throw this shit on me now. I always just read one at the start. It's great. Amy's running. Whoa, they're chasing her. Immediately, you're like, how the fuck did they get out of that? Whoa, it's crazy. Got some cool fucking helicopter shots, even though you can kind of see the helicopter blades in one of the shots. That's kind of funny. And Amy gets shot, abducted, crazy. Meanwhile, the Doctor sat in a chair. Wow, crazy. I'm doing good at this recap shit, right? The Doctor sat in a chair with a beard. Connor, he has a beard. How does
it
this
real?
happen? I don't know. Canton walks up to him. No, I'm pretty sure it was just stuck on him. Canton walks up. It's like, "G'day, how's it going? We're building a fucking Pandorica for you, mate." And he's like, "Shit, that's crazy." Meanwhile, River, she's walking through some buildings in New York. It's all pretty crazy. It's all pretty cool.
That's not
Canton
New York.
catches up for her, and she's like, "River, I'ma shoot you, bro." And she's like, "Okay, too bad. I'ma jump." River jumps. wow, falling into CGI TARDIS, which really doesn't look that great.
No, it fucking looks terrible.
Always thought it looks terrible. And the little splash of water that comes out as she lands in the pool. Great.
It sucks.
Great.
So
great
bad.
TV. Doctor is once again still being built up in the Pandorica. Cut back to Rory, who is running over Hoover Dam. Another cool location that it was cool they included.
That is pretty cool.
Running. Oh no, he's surrounded. He's shot. Body bags all in the Pandorica. Doctor's like, oh shit.
She's dead.
What a shame. Oh no. Everyone wakes up. Whoa, that was crazy. Had to hold my breath for that one. Wow. I don't remember what happens after this. They do something. Yeah, I tried to take over for a bit there.
Now they just go and they're like, where are we going, Doctor? Come in, the TARDIS. And then they go and see the moon. It's like, that's where we're going.
Oh,
Credits.
the TARDIS is invisible in there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Sure as sugar.
Oh.
It sure is.
Another shit shot is the Doctor leaning against the TARDIS.
I liked it. Dong.
You like it?
Oh, yeah, and he does his suspenders.
No, that's fine. But the shot where, from the side after that, where he's leaning on the TARDIS and they've, cropped in, where the doors open. Looks shit. I think that looks horrendous.
I loved it.
Well, you can suck my nut.
Thank you, Canton and Amy, going through to the to the children's home. This creepy ass guy answers, and he's like, "Hello."
Beep beep. They've got the beep beeps on the hands.
That's in a second,
Beep.
Aiden. That's in a second.
Fuck. Oh,
because you see them walk up.
Another great Moffat thing is just playing with how they give you information. You know, they go there, they go to the home, and then they go to the TARDIS back to the home.
It's a flashback, which I thought was great pacing wise. It's really creepy though. It's 1969. The space was supposed to close 2 years ago. It's the child, it needs help, and it's really creepy and it's good though. I like it. It's creepy. It's creepy. There's all this writing on the wall. It's leave me alone and stuff, and it's ugh. And I think you get to see Amy's thing in Amy's hand, the thing in Amy's hand flashing, and it goes to the TARDIS, and it's I guess the Doctor just randomly shaved throughout scenes. Yeah. I guess so.
Oh, that's what I missed, is when they first go into the TARDIS, and he's like, what's our secret weapon? Neil Armstrong's foot. It's the spaceship, the space shuttle.
No, we did miss but Dr. Song, she dove off a rooftop. Don't worry, she does that. She just goes, hate it. I hate that. Moffat's so good, but it's was that necessary? That fucking sucks. And the next shot, River's got a towel and she's just drying her hair, and I'm like, stop. Yeah. This is cringy. Delete. Mm-hmm. This sucks.
Delete me.
But I do like how it's you just saw an image of the creature we're fighting. Describe it to me. I can't. And it's look at your hand. It's you saw it, which is a thing where it's when you see it, tap your hand, record it. And then when your hand is flashing, you know that you've seen one. Very smart. I like it.
Very good. Very smart.
I like how all the companions are we were traveling all over America and we saw so many of these. I like how they write marks on their hands and stuff where they're I like it. It's so cool. Such a cool thing they added. But yeah, they all go off in different places. The Doctor is in Apollo, and he's adding a little what is it, a little oh, by the way, did you notice he was using that little telephone thing that he used in A Christmas Carol to talk to Amy?
Yeah, that was cool touch.
I like that. That was cool. Unless I'm forgetting something, but I think the next scene is where Amy's just walking by herself, and you get to see what's her name, Madam something, and the little slide door opens.
Kavarian?
Madam Kavarian, I think that's correct.
Something like that.
Another thing they set up, I remember seeing that first time, and I was like, what on God's green earth is that?
Yeah, I just remember being there's some chick on the other side of the door, and then she opens it, no one's there.
That's creepy. It's a very creepy season. So, remind me, you've seen Curse of the Black Spot, right?
I have.
There's one in there as well, isn't there?
There is, yeah. And from memory, I don't think there's one in the Doctor's Wife.
There's not one in Good Man Goes to War. Sorry, not Good Man Goes to War. Yeah, Doctor's Wife there isn't one, but there's definitely... There's
the third one is in Rebel Flesh Almost People, and then it all comes together at the end of that two-parter.
Correct. Yeah, correct. For me, one of the most creepiest things in the two-parter was when Amy goes into the little girl's room, and she's looking at the photos, and it's Amy with a baby. Imagine if you went into a room and you saw a picture of you holding a child.
Crazy.
In this abandoned place, you'd be like...
Crazy good setup as well. So good. And then the child comes behind her. Yep. Holy fuck. Spooky.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shoot you from the trailer.
Yeah. I know you said it's CGI, but I'm pretty sure, to me, it looked like it was a really shit sticker they'd put on the... So they'd put a hole in the spacesuit and then done a sticker of glass, of cracked glass around the hole. Looks like a pretty freaking atrocious. But, yeah.
And then Amy and the two silence walk in and she screams. And Canton's already shot a silence, which they eventually take back to Area 51.
Yeah.
But then Amy's just the little thing, looks like a bit of a pill almost, and it's flashing.
Yeah.
And it's like a live
because the Doctor and Rory come in.
They do, but just before that, because the Doctor got caught by the screw, I was like, I'm telling you, I'm on a top secret mission with the government. And like, yeah, whatever. And then Nixon walks in. Dun, 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 dun.
I love that they do that a couple of times as well. That whole scene is so funny. Like, even at the end when Rory, he fiddles with the telescope.
Yeah, then it snaps off.
And he breaks it off.
America salutes you.
America salutes you.
And when he leaves, dun, 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 dun. It's great. I love how they do it. Like they do it again when Canton's in the chamber. It's like, you've been in there for days, and he's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, it does matter, and he's like, does it? Dun, 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 dun. Gentlemen, I'm President Nixon. It's cool.
And I love how he's kind of like, for fuck's sake, I'm President Nixon. And he like hella doesn't want to do it.
President Nixon. Yeah, it's funny. I love how it's like, sir, he was found breaking into Apollo 11, and then he looks at the Doctor and he's like, sorry. And he's like trying to bite through the handcuffs. Yeah. But you're right, yes. The Doctor and Rory do run in and they pick up the thing, and it's like, and Rory's like, you do not understand, Doctor. Do you understand me? I like that. It was good.
Yeah.
It's like,
there's also just before that is when the Doctor has his first sort of confrontation with the silence, where they're like, we are the silence.
We have been here since the wheel.
And the fire.
Too bad they're going to forget that conversation when they turn away.
I love how the blood is just like some foamy, gooey,
it's like it looks like shampoo or something.
Yak.
Yeah. Yak. Looks like
Lovely.
Looks like
thick,
the flesh people,
creamy
the jizz.
yak.
The jizz.
Oh no. There's more cum stuff this season. Man, that's some Moffat horniness.
There's just heaps. But yeah, I do like how they bring that silence. Obviously, they're going to set him up to say, "You should kill us all on sight."
Yeah, that's great.
But I do like how they bring that Doctor in to tend to its wounds, and it's like, what the hell even is it? It's like, we don't really know yet. It's like, what? It's like, I don't know why you brought me in here for nothing.
Yeah.
It's like,
I tell you what,
you may remember it.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be a freaking. That was pretty lucky that the silence happened to say those exact words. Because, imagine if the silence said anything, a slight differentiation of those words, and the humanity would never kill them. That was a lot riding on getting the silence to say those exact words.
Yeah, I always like to have somehow Canton sticking the phone onto that device somehow connects to Apollo 11, and somehow it connects to every TV, and it is silly. You kind of just got to switch your brain off when you think about that kind of stuff. You can break down pretty much every episode like that and go, that doesn't make sense very well. But yeah, there's not really much else to say other than like the Doctor lands underneath the Earth, and that's when he says like, "Oh, very so-and-so road," mentioning Craig's place, because of course he's like, "Oh, the BBC aren't using a new set clearly." Oh well, I guess we'll have to.
Well, there's a couple of scenes above that where they're in the warehouse. And like the Doctor talks with Rory and he's like, personal question. You, really? Yeah, those years waiting for Amy. Do you remember them? He's like, no, really? Yeah. And it's just like there's another little character beat there just to split up this episode that is much more plot focused than character, which is nice. And there's just a few more of those sort of scenes. It's a little like with like waff of Canton just chatting around and shit like that. But yeah, eventually it's the big reveal. What have they been working on, Connor? Tell me.
Well, they're just going to take over. They're just going to invade.
What have the Doctor and stuff been doing? What have they been working on? That's what I mean. He walks in and he's like, here we go, I'll tell you the plan. Ha 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 ha.
Here we go. Ha ha. They're like, look, the plan is, do you know how many people are watching this on the telly right now?
About one.
Is it just me?
It's just you.
I guess I'll turn around and see a silence and be like, I guess it's up to me to kill them all. Thank you, Aiden.
There you go.
It's something like 1.3 billion or something like that. It's really cool. I think my dad watched the moon landing. I'm not sure if he watched it live. That's how old my dad is, but I don't think he watched it live, but he was alive when the moon landing happened. Christ, my dad is old. Jesus. But yeah, my dad was watching it, so he would have turned around and thrown one of his wooden trains at a silence. Yeah, he just tricks silence. It's like, Cannon's like, what this is? It's a phone, apparently. But you know what it also is? It's a camera. And for some reason, the silence doesn't care that Canton is just recording it, saying all this like hell revealing shit where it's like, you should kill us all on sight.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. One thing that I thought was a bit bullshit was the silence needed a space shoot, so they started the Apollo program. That I thought was a little far-fetched. I don't know if I bought into that properly, but...
Yeah, and also, I've never really understood why, like, them giving an order to kill them. And it's like, the second they turn away, wouldn't they just forget they're given an order? Like, do you get what I mean? I never really understood that as a kid. Like, still don't really now.
Well, because I think it's like, they forget the order until they see the silence, and then when they see the silence, they remember the order, and then they're like, fuck, I gotta kill them. Pretty brutal ending, though, for the Doctor to be like, we just gotta massacre this entire race.
You're dead. You're dead. Sorry.
You see what I mean? But that I said last week about Matt's kind of sexiness, his like suaveness as he sort of walks around.
Oh yes, he is so good.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I don't say that enough, but he is like,
incredible.
On my days. Oh my god, I couldn't believe it. Nah, he's so good. And like they just start shooting everybody. Amy's like, get your stupid face out of here to Rory, and that's how he knows because he heard it before saying, ever since you dropped out the sky, he thought she was talking about the Doctor, but actually she was talking about...
Idiot.
Yeah.
Absolute idiot.
Yeah, but turns out she actually does love Rory instead. And Rory, River does this weird move, she like spins around like 3 times and just shooting all the... Yeah. Somehow spinning around is more accurate than just pointing and shooting.
It all looks cool. It's all just a bit like the Doctor's sonicking stuff and shit's blowing up.
I do like
and they
how
reference
River's
it,
like,
and River's
just
like,
make a cabinet.
What are you doing? I'm sonicking them. It's a screwdriver. It helps build a cabinet. And then he yells something else.
And that's a line that's used in Day of the Doctor when John Hurt's Doctor says, what are you going to do? Assemble a cabinet at them? So I like that little callback. And Rory's like, what kind of Doctor are you, by the way? It's like, archaeology. Doesn't even look...
Done.
It's like... Somehow River knew there was a silence. And the Doctor drops River off and is like, well, see ya. And then she kisses him and she's like, you act like that's the first time it's happened. And he's like, well, it is. First time for everything.
Sad.
See you later, I guess. It's a bit odd, a bit weird. I do like how Nixon's, that final scene with Nixon and Canton. And it's like... It's a sign of the times where it's just like, you got kicked out, I believe. He's like, yeah, I did. And it's like, your partner, is he black? And he's like, yes, he is. No, it's like, your partner, is he black? And no, is she black? And then he says, yes, he is. So it's like,
yeah.
It's like, I like it. Some good representation. Obviously, those days were... obviously not as not as good as these days, where it's very normal for that stuff to happen. And back in the day, that was just a thing that just was not acceptable, which is awful. But luckily enough, we seem to have mostly gotten through those times.
Oh yeah.
I'm so surprised Canton never showed up
times.
again. It would have been awesome to see him again, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it would be cool, a little recurring character, but
I thought it was.
no.
I thought it was a great character. I always loved his character. And of course, we kind of skipped this. Amy tells the doctor she's pregnant, and she's like, actually, turns out I'm not.
Oh, true. Yeah.
That whole scanner thing, which we get to see heaps throughout the first part, where it's like, it's like positive, negative, and it never lands on anything. Until I think at the end of like, Doctor's Wife or something.
There's another cute scene as well where it's another good character scene where Rory's gone off to get something, and he listens to the thing when Amy's talking to the pregnancy thing with Doctor. One, by the way, Karen and Matt's chemistry there is you so buy that they're good friends, and then they have a bit of a laugh after that. So good. And then like Rory comes in, and it's maybe a little more on the cringe side, but still really good as well. Where he's like, still, you should have told me you were pregnant, and he was like, I'm a nurse, I could help. And then they laugh, and he's like, no, I've never ever got a something. Yeah, it's all funny. It's all fun and games, isn't it? It's all fun and games until you become a doppelganger. Pretty
much. That's the thing. The doctor doesn't trust her, so it's on the scanner going positive, negative. So, and as far as I'm aware, oh no, of course, the little girl regenerates. I can forget about that. Oh god.
Yes, that was a great ending. As a kid, that fucking blew my mind.
That sent me as a kid. I was like, oof. So many questions, so little answers.
It's alright. It's quite alright.
I'm dying.
You see? This score this season is too high pitched for me to fucking try and replicate.
The ship is ours, Mom. She asked me up the other day at work, that one scene, because we got Curse of the Black Spot next. There's that one scene with the pirate and his son in Good Man Goes to War, where it's like the ship is ours,
they just rock up and point guns.
And then they never shown again.
That's it. Lovely. Love it.
I always wonder if they, like, whilst filming Curse of the Black Spot, when they do scenes like that, they're just like, can you film one scene like this and we're going to use it in another episode? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they're like,
maybe not.
But they never show up again. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah, anyway, it's so whack. We'll get to that. We'll get to that with time.
That's the two-parter, ladies and gentlemen.
That is.
Not my best recap for the second episode there, but sorry. But
yeah, I think the first one we took a long time with, and the second one we did much quicker, which I think was fine. So we move on to Australia's second favourite segment, Connor.
You have my word, Aiden. Yes.
It's time for Behind the Scenes! No, not much to say this week. I have 3 points, and even them, they're not the most interesting things in the world. One was that the Impossible Astronaut was dedicated to Liz Sladen, who died 4 days before the broadcast of the episode.
I didn't see that.
Big sad. Mark Sheppard, as we know, plays Canton, Elliot Delaware III.
Yep.
His dad, William Sheppard, is the guy that plays old Mark Sheppard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he died a few years ago, but yeah.
Oh,
sorry, that was a mix of emotions, wasn't it?
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's
I remember it. I remember it coming up. The only other bit of spicy goss I found for this episode was, where River slaps the doctor in that scene?
That's real.
That's real, yeah, but they had to do it a few times, and Matt got a bit cranky because he was like, why the fuck we gotta keep doing this?
It hurts.
Fucking hurts.
That's what you got?
Alex is beating me.
Classic Alex.
That's it.
That's
all I got.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, speeding through things at this time, shall we move on to Just Twitter Tings?
Sure.
It's time for Just Twitter Tings. Oh my god. We got one in... Oh, wait, don't worry.
We did?
I was going to say, we got one in 3 minutes ago, but it's just Jacob saying he sent one on Insta.
That's me.
It's all good.
That's the one I got.
So, a little last minute this time, folks, but on Twitter, I asked, what are your thoughts on the Series 6 two-parter, The Impossible Astronaut and The Day of the Moon? Write them below and we'll read them on the show. So, we like to read your reviews on here. So, once again, we'll start things off with Dylan. Dylan said, put both parts together and you've basically got Doctor Who, the movie. What are you talking about, Dylan? This isn't Paul McGann. It's not set... it is set in America. Oh. But it's not Paul McGann. I'm kidding. Yeah, you're right. It's very it's like a movie. It does feel like a movie. It's got everything. Great locations. It's beautifully shot. And it feels like one of the more unique episodes of Who. The Doctor getting shot threw me off as a kid. And I had no idea how to react. The silence are incredibly well designed, I agree, and are such a creepy concept. That one shot of them hanging from the ceiling is haunting, very spooky, you're right. Honestly, one of the best two-parters of the entire show. I love it, solid 8 or 9 out of 10, not quite sure. Oh, also, I love the reveal that Canton is that one dude... I love the reveal that Canton and that one dude are together. Well done, 2011, Doctor Who, smiley face. There you go. Vinny says, a quick disclaimer that I haven't seen it in years, so my opinion could change, but at the moment it is this. I don't like it. Just doesn't feel like Doctor Who to me. I remember watching it and not fully engaged because I just didn't care. And then she says, I can barely remember a thing though, so maybe I'll rewatch it very soon and send in updated thoughts. Sorry in advance, Aiden, but you've known I dislike this two-parter for a while, so you shouldn't be surprised, laughing face. And then I just replied with me right now, and it was a picture of the beast from the Satan pit.
That's funny.
Then Jack Everett, I believe this is a first-time writer here. He says, it's ambitious and original, and it looks good and has a great villain and 2 really good cliffhangers. Plus, Stewart... Adam from Jonathan Creek, Milligan as Nixon, but it just isn't as great as it should be. I kind of get that. I do kind of feel that a little bit, but I don't hate it. Perhaps that's knowing what story it's part of in hindsight, though. Yeah, I agree. Definitely, all the craziness that's to come is like all the fucking whack shit. It's just not a fan. Not a fan of that bullshit. You have one over on Insta. Is that Jacob?
I certainly do. Like I said, forgot to put this week on Insta. So
classic.
Any shiz. Jacob says, Impossible Astronaut review. He says, the best season opener for the best season of Doctor Who. Wow, going in.
Oh my
hot.
god!
Going in hot. That's right.
Fucking
Call it controversial.
huge call, mate.
But this is my favorite season. This episode sets up the season arc and interest in the show extremely well by killing the Doctor. The scenes in the White House are extremely fun. The way our science are introduced is great. Amy's pregnancy is well introduced and leads into great moments in the episode later in the season as well, for in the arc. The second part continues the story well, and the scene in the orphanage has a great tension and does a great job at horror. Oh, I agree. Maybe it's my season 6 bias, but these episodes are great, and they get an 8.5 out of 10. Just to confirm, yes, the now that's... What's this? Sorry. Just to confirm, yes, the now that's what I call comedy podcast is mine. Sorry for the shameless promotion. So my question... No, not at all. Please. Please go and watch that, everybody.
Yeah, we love hearing what you guys are creating, and we're always happy to support it. Speaking of which, probably say this. I meant to say a couple of weeks ago. Sorry to just distract away from that plug. One of our listeners, Vinny, she always sends in a review. Really lovely to talk to. She has a song out called Candy Floss, so go check it out. We should ask her if we can play it in an episode or something, like a radio station.
I actually put it on my personal story, Aiden. So
yeah,
I said, great friend of mine, just jamming
out. Yeah, so go check out Candy Floss by Last Orders. Last Orders music.
Go into that. The question this week from Jacob is, my question is, what podcaster aren't Joe Rogan do you listen to? Well, I don't like Joe Rogan, so I actually don't listen to him. I think he's quite pretentious. But go on, Aiden, who do you listen to?
Oh, I'll jump onto my Spotify and have a look. Probably the podcast that brings me the most joy is the Scrubs Rewatch Show with Fake Doctors Real Friends. That's with Zach Braff and Donald Faison. So fucking funny. It's hilarious. Every episode I literally laugh out loud so many times just on my own listening to it, which takes a lot. I don't like when I watch movies and listen to things. I find a lot of shit funny, but I'm just sort of in my head like, oh yeah, that was funny. It takes a lot to actually make me like proper LOL. And these boys, they freaking do it. The producer, Joelle, and the editor, Daniel, they're all sort of involved in the show now, and it's just so much fun. Definitely recommend if you're a Scrubs fan. So much fun. And they recently did an episode called Hyundai Around LA, and it's sponsored by Hyundai, and basically they just got in a car and they drove around to all the locations that they sort of grew up in when they first moved to LA, and they just talk about their experiences moving to LA. Just so much fun. So much fun. Other podcasts, Daily Talk Show is finished, so I'm not really going to go there anymore. But the Team Deakins podcast, Roger Deakins, famous cinematographer, like the best one of all time. He has a podcast with his wife, James Deakins, and she works as a script supervisor. Most of the time they work on the same films, and it started off with like a few episodes just about cinematography, but now it's like they do 2 episodes a week, and every week it's like a new industry guest. They have so many obscure things on there, like VFX supervisors, production assistants, Steadicam operators. There was another one that I really enjoyed. Oh, first assistant director, which is something that I do a lot on sets. And it's a bit of an obscure one, so it's really nice to do it. Roger Deakins is a cinematographer of like 1917, 1894, Skyfall, just a whole bunch of fucking incredible films, incredible looking films at least. And I feel like I'm missing one more big one, but Grounded by Louis Theroux, that's a good one.
KSI went on that.
That's a good one. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was a good episode, actually.
Love KSI. As for me, I've already said my favourite one, and this is one I watch consistently.
Oh, hold on.
Week.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off with one more.
Oh, okay.
Just because I feel like I owe it. The Big Blue Box podcast is my go-to Doctor Who podcast. They recently just had like 3 weeks off, but they're back to being weekly again. I just love hearing those two boys just chat about Doctor Who. Great stuff. Go check it out. It's a bit more serious than what me and Connor do here. And they go a lot more into classic Who and things like that.
They probably have notes as well, unlike us.
Oh, they do. They do notes, yeah. And they do Torchwood and Sarah Jane. And so every week they either do like an episode of Classic Who or an episode of New Who or an episode of Torchwood or an episode of Sarah Jane. And next week they're doing the final Sarah Jane. So big sad. But yeah.
Aiden forgot for a laugh on there, but that's okay.
That's because I don't listen to shit. Kidding.
I haven't known that one before.
Classic.
Yeah, like I already said, H3 podcast is literally the one I listen to every week, but there's like, they drop about 3 or 4 a week sometimes, so it's quite hard to keep up with them all, but I do get them done every week, because like, literally, they can drop an episode and it can be like 2 hours and a half, so I mostly chuck them on at work when I'm working, but they're so fun. Like, I literally listened to one today, and Frenemies was like a huge, like, they're killing it recently, man. They're getting like 1.5 mil views on their podcast on YouTube alone, which is like amazing. They're absolutely killing it. But they were doing the Frenemies podcast with David Dobrik's old friend Trisha Paytas, Aiden, and obviously for those of you who know, she actually left in a bit of a huff recently. So they brought in a new Frenemies host who's going to be Ethan's mum, and they got Ethan's dad on the mic as well. And it was so funny. They actually just dropped the first episode today. I listened to it at work today, and like you said, Aiden, I was laughing away to myself, crackling. And you know, you mentioned the crew and stuff on the Scrubs podcast, like the crew, like Zach, AB, Dan, Ian, like all the cast in the H3 crew are all amazing, lovely people. I love all of them. It's my go-to happy podcast. Yeah, that's about it, really. I occasionally listen to Armchair Expert, which is Dax Shepard's one. If he has someone on that I like, I listen to them. Like, I listened to Seth Rogen went on recently, and Macklemore went on recently. I listen to them. They're good, but I don't listen every week. I occasionally listen to Happy Hour, which is Jack Mate's one. That's pretty good. Apart from that, though, I actually don't really listen to anyone else's, because like H3's kind of takes up my time every week, because like they're so long. They're like so long. But I do listen to our one as well, by the way, because I like to take notes in my head.
There you go. I listen in on Big Finish as well. Not a podcast, but you know, it kind of fills that a pretty similar spot. Listening. I won't do Finishing Big yet because I've got one more episode left. But I'm continuing the Diary of River Song, and I'm doing season 2. There's 8 seasons out of it, so I'm on to season 2. Season 1 was the first ever Big Finish that I picked up in my sort of new, when I was like, fuck it, I'm getting into Big Finish. I must say I'm loving season 2 so far, and I've really fallen in love with Big Finish. I'm there. I'm fully in now. I'm probably going to start venturing into some Classic Who soon, I think, because they've had Colin and Sylvester in this series too of River Song, and the Colin episode in particular, really loved it. So yeah,
I guess you could also count, you can't get it over here, but I do, obviously they upload like clips of the Howard Stern show to like YouTube and stuff, and apart from Ethan, Howard Stern is my my broadcasting icon. Like, they're the two guys I want to be like with my biggest inspirations for both of my shows. But you can't get Sirius FM in Australia. Like, you can get I got like a VPN and stuff, but you also have to get like you have to go through a website to get like an American credit card for currency and stuff, and it's so much effort, and I have to sign into the app and also always be on my VPN and stuff, which I don't always do. So it's just a bit of a bitch. But yeah, Howard's the GOAT in my opinion, and Howard's actually Ethan's inspiration as well, so it all kind of connects. But
there you go.
Yeah, that's great question, Jacob. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. We always love the questions. Always love them. Connor, what would you review? Sorry, we're not doing that again. What would you rate The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon out of 10?
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I really loved it. I'm rating these seasons so high, but they're so fucking fun. I have such a big smile on my face watching them. I love the first part. Second part's not as good. Bit clanky wanky, but I really just think they're great. The next couple episodes will be really interesting for me, because
I love that it doesn't take itself
3,
seriously at all.
So
that's always been that's what I really love about this era. It's so like silly and fun and whimsical and crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, I never liked episode 3. I never liked episode 4 when I was younger. Never liked 5 and 6, and I sort of, I guess, kind of like 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, I never really liked 7 much. Never really liked 8 or 9. Like, there were so many episodes I'm just like, I don't like these episodes, but I'm hoping now I rewatch them, I'm gonna be. I reckon I can just enjoy myself with something. Yeah, me too. I reckon I can enjoy 3 if I go in with the right mindset and just like, this is just silly, and just enjoy it.
I watched it, and yeah, that's it.
You just gotta enjoy it for what it is. You know,
it's not great. It's not great, but not shit. Like, it's all right. So I will also give it an 8. So currently, me and Connor both did 9 for Christmas Carol and 8 for Impossible Astronaut, Day of the Moon. Both of us
we're twinning.
Drawing.
Twinning,
baby. It's been a while since both of us have had such similar scores close together. So yeah, that's fun. Next week, you guys obviously would have heard us say his name so many times on this show. He's like our first sort of, proper friend of the show. All the way back in season 1, I think he's been like part of us and just chatting shit about Who with us. And we've known him just through online and the things we do online for so much longer than that. Dylan is coming on to the show, talking about the Curse of the Black Spot with us. And that's just going to be crazy, because it's someone that me and Connor have both known, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you haven't either, Connor, but like, I've known this guy for so long now, but never have I ever actually spoken to him. So
no, I've never actually had a phone call or anything. So
yeah, so it'll be really cool to chat with him.
It's gonna be
and
quite.
It's always nice to have
something.
a new guest, because I really like sort of discussing how they got into Who. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So that'd be cool. Yes, we got that, and then we got Dan on for episode 4, which is the Doctor's Wife, and then we're gonna do the Flash 2-parter, just me and Aiden. Then we got Xavier on for the mid-season final, Good Man Goes to War, and then I think it'll probably just be you and I again for Let's Go Hitler, and we'll plan from there onwards.
A few episodes, and then I think Vinny's coming on for closing time.
Yeah, so far it's the only guest we've got planned. So
yeah, Maybe we can see if maybe we can get like Jacob on or something in 6B or something like that as another
also try and get Ace Creeper on.
He's not Ace Creeper anymore. Oh fuck, we didn't talk about Genesis of the Cybermen. It's a bit too late now, but
well, you cheated and watched it. You're not even in that timeline yet, Aiden.
It's a different app though. It's fine. Like it's totally different.
I wonder how he does it with copyright and stuff. I think it's a great idea and I love what he did, but I'm so confused how he got through copyright and stuff.
Well, it's not on YouTube.
True, it's on Google Drive, isn't it? Ah.
Yeah, you got to download off Google Drive. True. So, just a quick little plug. George Sheard, formerly known as Ace Creeper on YouTube, the man has done a edit of What Enough Time the Doctor Falls. It's in 4:3, black and white, but there's also some other great things in there. They cut out Missy doing the dab and things like that. And it also starts
Do they really? That's funny.
Quite different, which is really good. I'd recommend watching it. For me, it was great to sit down and watch that episode. Well, it felt like a movie. I honestly felt like I watched a movie. It was great. Really good stuff. You're right.
Oh, sorry. Someone just came to my house. It's my dad. I was like freaking out then. I swear he was like in bed. Yeah, sorry. Now look, I don't know, because I keep saying that's the one episode I want to like full on watch. So it's kind of like too tempting for me. Because I feel like I should probably just wait, but I don't know, maybe I can sit down and watch it with him. It's so far away though, season 10. Like I feel like by the time I go and rewatch it again, it would have been at least like a year and a bit. So it would still be like new to rewatch it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy, guys. That's 61 episodes of the show. Can't believe we've done 61. That's freaking crazy. We'll see you next week for Curse of the Black Spot. Thank you all for listening. Come at us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor, me on Twitter at Greeny_Pro, and Connor on Twitter at Hannum.
Connor.
At Hannum Connor. That's it.
What's my name
I don't know
again?
why I had a fucking mind blank there. Thanks for listening. Connor, it's been great as always. Would you like to lead us out in song?
Of course. I'd love to.
Let's do it.
All right, ready?
Yep. That's not the ruler. It's the remote.
I can't. I'm sat down. I feel comfy. I'm not going to move.
Okay, fair.
They would never would have known if you didn't say. And a 1, and a 2, and a skiddly diddly do.
It's Aiden's and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews with lots of lag. Doctor Who sorry. I was going to say before, actually. Sorry, there's quite a bit of lag this week, especially earlier on. So, sorry if there's a bit of cutting each other off and shit like that.